What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video, and it's a review. Yes, the past few days I've been ranting about Samsung, but now it's time to talk about a proper phone manufacturer that actually cares about your thoughts and value for money. So this is a full review of the Honor Magic V Flip. Remember, there's 5 categories for each of my reviews: design, build quality, software, cameras, and price. Let's go. Now, it is a flip device, and I'm going to try to keep my comparisons towards the Samsung Z Flip 6 and this to a minimum, but I do just want to start with something absolutely mind-blowing that surely even the most ardent, balls-deep Samsung Knight can't defend. This Honor Magic V Flip, half the size than the Z Fold 6, thinner than the Z Fold 6, has a 4,800 milliamp hour battery. That's 400 milliamp hours larger than the Z Fold 6. Not the Flip 6, which is like 1,000 milliamp hours smaller than this, but the Fold 6 has a 400 milliamp hour battery smaller than this. In this. So Samsung Knight's trying to defend Samsung for their 4,400 tiny milliamp hour battery, nearly 5,000 milliamp hours. And while we're at it, 66 watts wired charging. Now, 5 categories as mentioned. The first category we'll talk about is design. And in terms of design, it's a flip phone. There is very little you can do with a flip phone in 2024 that hasn't been done, and Honor aren't doing anything out of the box. It's a fairly thin and lightweight, at about 180 grams design. It comes in a few different colours. This is the Cosmic Black, I believe. The one thing I would say is, though, this is an absolute fingerprint magnet. It does come with a case in the box, but flip phones just don't feel right with a case on them. So this is the black version, fingerprint magnet. But overall, it's really nice. I absolutely love the 4-inch full cover display that works with all the widgets and works with third-party apps. As you can see on this phone though, I haven't installed many apps because, full disclosure, the reason this review's taken me a bit longer is because I have not been using this phone very much. A, because I don't like flip phones that much, and B, because there's so many other phones that I needed to test and much prefer using. But I took my time, added up all the hours of use, and managed to make this review. In terms of design, I also have to let you know that my categories are the same no matter if this was a fold phone, a candy bar phone, a £2,000 flagship, or a £300 budget phone. The categories are all the same, and they're all scored in 5 points, and they're all pitted against each other. So in terms of design, when you think this is against a 5 out of 5 phone like the Oppo X7 Ultra, I'm going to give this a solid 3 out of 5. Now for build quality, the next category, it's a flip phone, so it's not going to have the ingress protection of a candy bar phone, and in fact, from my research, I'm not seeing much ingress protection at all, so certainly don't go swimming or to the beach with this device, if you want to keep it, that is. But in terms of the actual materials, it's glass, it's aluminium, it's Honor's own rhinoceros glass, or whatever the hell they're calling it these days, and so far, so good. Other than fingerprints, which can be wiped away, there are no scratches or marks, and I've been using it on and off, as mentioned, for about 2 weeks now. There's no titanium, there's no other gimmick precious metals here. It's aluminium and glass. The phone is tested for up to 1 million folds, I believe. You're not going to have any issues for like 10 years if you keep your phone that long. The hinge mechanism itself is fine, but I have noticed that other than like a 90-degree angle, it wants to close, as you can see here, just shaking it a bit. It really wants to close. So if you're using it in like a tripod mode for selfies, and there's things you can do, I'll talk about that in the camera section, you're fine, but don't expect to hold this at any other angle other than fully closed, 90 degrees. Almost dropped it to test that drop resistance, and fully flat. The one thing I will say, and I'll include this in the build quality round, is the crease, or should I say, the lack thereof a crease. As you can see in this photo, it's a bright display, and when it's a bright display, you really cannot notice the crease. Now, obviously, as you can see here, when the phone is off, there's a visible crease, like on every single fold or flip phone on the planet. But Honor, and to be fair, Oppo and Vivo on their flip devices, and the upcoming Xiaomi, have done a fantastic job. There's a certain manufacturer that have released their 6th flip phone that somehow still has the worst crease on the market. I'm not naming any names, so don't want to offend too many people. So for build quality, nothing groundbreaking here. Without any ingress protection, I really can't give it a high or even decent score. I'm going to go 2 out of 5. Now, before we talk about the cameras and the price, the third category is software. And I'm going to make this fairly brief. It's Honor Magic OS 8, which, if you didn't know, now comes completely stock with Google services. It's native. You don't have to do any Gbox or Gspace workarounds. It's your full Google mobile services, meaning your contacts, all languages are supported. Honor Magic OS 8 is certainly an improvement over the previous generations, but it's still barely creeping into the top 10 software skins for me. There's the usual Android customization, but as I've mentioned before, the UI, the interface, the camera app and stock apps seem just a little bit unfinished and unpolished in my opinion. The one cool thing about this being a flip phone is you obviously have 2 screens. You've got the outer cover screen, and then all the stock apps, the weather, you can see the widgets here. It all works fine. So software in terms of the cover screen, fantastic. In terms of the usual inner screen software, it's a Honor phone. It's fine. Not breaking any records, but a really nice, simple implementation of a flip device with the software. So we're going to keep this round short. Because it's a full 4 inches, you don't feel like you're missing anything. Previous generation flip phones had like a 1-inch screen, then it went to 2.4 inch. But now, ultimately, weirdly, the outer cover screen of the Honor Magic V Flip is the same size as an iPhone 5. Interesting fact for you there. So for software, I'm going to give it a nice 3 out of 5. Now, before we talk about cameras, I just want to shout out the mind-blowing 135 channel members. Thank you very much. I have promised to do a very decent giveaway soon, so keep your eyes peeled. If you're a member, you may know this, you may not, but there is a very, very nice giveaway going to be happening very soon to thank you all for being supporters of the channel. Some of you from almost day one. And then for the other people that haven't signed up but have subscribed, I can't thank you enough. We're 27,500 or something just now. It's growing by the 100 each day. And yeah, just a very short intermission to say thank you. I should also say that another thank you is if you are in the market for an Honor V Flip, there is a way where you can get 8% off the price of the device from the Average Dad Tech Store. But you're going to have to stay tuned to the end of the video because I might have a discount code. I do have a discount code for you. Anyway, Fourth category, penultimate category, is cameras. And like every single flip phone on the market, hope I'm not wrong there, don't think I am, it's dual cameras. There's no triple camera, and again, like most other flip phones, the telephoto is the one sacrificed. However, the 50 megapixel main lens on the rear or front, depending if you have it opened or closed, is actually good enough to give you a 2x optical as well. So technically there is a 2x telephoto lens in there as well. It uses a crop. It is 1/1.5 inch sensor, and it does have OIS. The photos the main camera produces are pretty damn good, and the portraits. Then you've got a 12 megapixel ultra wide, again not uncommon for a flip phone. The one thing you do have to say is, when you talk about a 4-inch cover screen and a 4-inch folded device, you really do have to sacrifice something in terms of what you can squeeze inside the phone. And for me, I would have to say that I'd rather a phone lasted a day or two with a larger battery than lasted half a day with 3 cameras. So the fact that they've squeezed a 4800 milliamp hour battery in here and can't fit in a third lens is absolutely fine for me. And for whatever reason, it seems like dual lenses for flip phone users is enough. Although, leave a comment down below, how cool would it be to get a flip phone that has like proper flagship, like Oppo X7 Ultra standard cameras from a flip device? Even though the X7 Ultra's camera bump on the back is the size of the full V Flip. Anyway, camera wise, photos are good. Videos 4K on all lenses, to be fair. The selfie camera is also 50 megapixels, but again, you can use the rear cameras, front. The main cameras you can use for selfie as well, because it's a flip device. You can use the cover screen as your viewfinder, and as I mentioned, you can also put intent mode, and if you use some gestures like the peace sign, it'll take a photo for you and give you a countdown timer. If you jump up in the air, there's an action shot mode like on most recent Honor phones now. Yeah, there's some cool other little features like styles and emojis you can add to photos that Honor are doing. Kind of taken from Huawei, but that's okay. And yeah, it's fine. But again, as I said at the start of the video, I have not been using this as my main driver. I've been using it for an hour or two every other day, just so I can make this review for you. Camera wise, if this was a flip phone comparison versus the Z Flip and the Honor and the Oppo Find N3 Flip, it would be right in line with those. Probably like a 3.5 or 4 out of 5 for a flip phone camera setup. But because it's the average dad review, it's compared against all phones. Yeah, a dual camera setup with a 12 megapixel ultra wide, I'm sorry, I can't give it anything more than a 2. So it's a 2 out of 5, bringing the totals to 12 so far, moving into the final category, which is price. Now, taking aside the fact that I'm about to give you a 4% discount code right here, which brings the phone cost down to about £790 for the 256 and about £850 for the half terabyte and roughly £920 for the terabyte version of the V Flip. And I mentioned 8%. I am also allowing bank transfer payments with a further 4% off. So you can get 8% off if you pay by bank transfer and use this code off the price of the V Flip. You're welcome. And that'll last for 48 hours. The 4% bank transfer will always remain, but the 4% discount code has 48 hours remaining. Now, overall price-wise, as I say, if you're paying, £800 to £850 for a 256 gigabyte flip phone, that's roughly £200 cheaper than the equivalent competitor Samsung. Now, the benefit the Samsung has, obviously, is that it's a global ROM device. So yes, it has a smaller battery, but It does have One UI 6 and global ROM. And keeping in mind that if you weren't paying with the discounts to get all that money off and you were paying full RRP for the V Flip, you can actually get the Oppo Find N3 Flip, which doesn't have a full 4-inch cover screen. It is that 2.4 inch I talked about. But you can pick one of those up for about £600. And the new Nubia Flip global version you can pick up for about £500 or £430 for the global ROM, or £450 from the Average Tech Store. That's also the global ROM installed on that. So there are better deals to be had, in my opinion, for a Flip device. But if you're in the market for that full cover display and you like Honor software, and maybe you've got an Honor tablet or an Honor watch or laptop and you want to stay in the ecosystem, then absolutely you'll not be disappointed with the Flip. I just think the price is just a bit steep from Honor, in my opinion. And for that reason, I'm going to give it 2.5 out of 5. So, if my maths is correct, it's the end of the review, and overall, out of 25 points, the V Flip has scored 14.5. I know that seems like a bad score, but when you consider this is up against every phone I've reviewed so far in 2023 and 2024, it's not horrendous. And in terms of flip phones, it's now in the top 3, I would say, for sure. So you can leave your comments down below. You can also ask me any questions down below, or you can WhatsApp me any questions. You'll get the link to my WhatsApp on the website. And yeah, it's been nice to forget about leaks and rumours and slamming manufacturers for their poor phones. It's been nice to focus on a review for a couple of days. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. As mentioned, discount code plus 4% bank transfer. But if you don't want to pay by bank transfer and you want to use PayPal or credit card, safe in the knowledge you're still going to get 4% off that price. I'll be back soon with more content on many more devices, including a video that might get 4 or 5 views total. My new M3 MacBook Pro Max terabyte thing. I've decided to upgrade my current MacBook Pro, and I'll probably make a video on it because people might be interested. Or they won't. I'm also selling my M1 MacBook Pro, 16 gigabytes of RAM, half terabyte of storage, mint condition, for, let's say, £850. There we go. £850, 2021, late 2021 MacBook Pro. If you're interested, drop me a message on Instagram. And until next time,